you, Adrian. Yes, the Etihad Stadium is full to brimming for a game which Pep Guardiola has labelled as a final. 5 teams, 3 places, a maximum of 15 points each to play for, one common goal. Forest, Newcastle, Manchester City, Chelsea and Villa are single-minded in their quest to be part of the European gong conquest. 2 of the leading contenders clash tonight. New entry Aston Villa with their super group front line take on Manchester City, who have had hit after hit after hit over the years, but are still trying to blend the right harmonies. It's not about popularity at this point, but it is about adding to your tally. It's about getting as many maximums as possible, and there is no time to receive nil point now. Manchester City still without Ederson. They make 2 changes from the weekend. Ortega is their goalkeeper. Nunez, Diaz, Vardiol and O'Reilly the back 4. It's De Bruyne, Gundogan and Kovacic in midfield, with McAtee and Silva supporting Marmoush in attack. It'll be interesting to see how they configure that midfield in order to add protection to that defensive line that has started to keep more clean sheets in recent weeks. Aston Villa 4 days ahead of the semi-final with Crystal Palace live on Talk Sport. Rotate 5 out. Rashford leads the line. It's Martinez in goal, Cash, Konza, Pau Torres and Lucas Digne, Kamara, Tielemans, Onana, Ramsey, Rashford and Rodgers in attack. Aston Villa visiting tonight wearing a claret bloody shirt with light blue sleeves and claret shorts. Attacking the goal to our left in the first half, it's the familiar home strip of light blue jerseys, white shorts and light blue socks of Manchester City. The captains De Bruyne and Martinez shake hands in the centre circle in front of our referee. And tonight is Craig Paulson, VAR is John Brooks, and alongside me in the commentary box the Women's FA Cup finalist Lucy Ward is with me. And Lucy, Manchester City have been playing a lot more narrow of late, but they got success when Doku stretched the pitch on Saturday off the bench. What's the plan for City tonight? What should they be cautious of?
Yeah, I don't want to be overloaded centrally by Aston Villa, because the way Aston Villa plays is centrally and they go in to out, and so it looks like Guardiola's going to match up how Villa play and have those 2 central midfielders, 2 10s in front, and then an attacker with a 10 around us. It's quite interesting how this will work out, but I'm sure that the wider wingers will come on at some point probably in the second half to just change the outlook of the game.
Well, we're underway with the ball shuffled immediately back to Emi Martinez, who launches high over the halfway line and down the inside left channel. It's won in midfield by Kamara, and Tielemans is immediately away and setting Rashford on the edge of the penalty area. Gets it onto the left foot, shoots, hits the post, and it comes back off a flash and into the arms of Ortega. And Aston Villa on the front foot within seconds, and maybe they should have already been on the score sheet. A cracking chance. Tielemans found himself in front of the City midfield, fed the ball to Rashford. He twinkle toes left and right before unleashing a shot against the inside of the post.
Tell you what, he's absolutely on fire, Rashford, and he was very unlucky that hit the post then. But Tielemans is a problem for Manchester City. No, he hasn't got the legs, but his speed of thought makes up for any of that. He's passing, and he just play him a little bit further up today. With it, you've got Onana and Kamara just as a little bit of insurance behind, so he's just got a little bit of a free roll just to go up and join with Rashford.
Yeah, he was pushed into the 10 position against Manchester City earlier in the season to great effect, and he's playing there again today. Marmoush at the other end, travelling with the ball, gets down the left side of the box, and it's nudged out by Cash and out for the first corner of the game. Victory for Aston Villa takes them 4th, but level on points with Forest. Victory for City takes them 3rd, above the tricky trees, but both would have played a game more. A draw and Manchester City go above Newcastle into 4th, Villa go above Chelsea, who would drop to 7th. First corner of the game, away to our right-hand side, to be taken by Kevin De Bruyne in front of the small band of Aston Villa supporters that are in that bottom tier. They do stretch right up into the evening sky. It's a beautiful evening in Manchester as the right-footed ball drifts towards the edge of the penalty area. It's a poor delivery and headed away by Jacob Ramsey. He's come into the team, one of 5 changes for Aston Villa, and it's nudged back on halfway to Kovacic to McAtee, and then out to De Bruyne. De Bruyne starts to move forward towards the left edge of the penalty area, just accelerates past Kamara and delivers a cross waywardly into the box. It floats out the other side and goes out for a early throw into Aston Villa away to our right.
What a start for Aston Villa, and what a start in the opposite way for Manchester City. Just allowed Rashford through there. It was just the opening exchanges, wasn't it? Rashford takes a touch inside, it absolutely sends Diaz inside out, and it comes back off the post, just a smidgen to either side. It goes in.
It's a cracking effort from Marcus Rashford, who has scored 3 goals and come up with 5 assists in 16 appearances. Does appear to be settling in. He was a menace against PSG and involving himself in a bit of Birmingham culture at the weekend when he was pictured alongside Whittaker and Liam Cameron at the fight in the Birmingham Indoor Arena at the weekend. Trying to ingratiate himself with the public just in case he moves in there permanently.
I think it's a key thing that Emery's done is just integrate these players. Asensio and Rashford hit the ground running, both experienced players. Rashford losing his way a little bit, different environment, and he's flourishing, but key players, and it's just about getting them in the building. It's about integrating them into the squad, and they've certainly done that.
Key players and key experiences amongst them. They're European winners, the both of them, and they would love to somehow get Aston Villa back in the Champions League. Ramsey skipping away from the challenge of Kovacic, just in front of the centre circle, works it out wide towards the far right hand side. 2 or 3 steps in from the right touchline. It's helped on to Cash, who's careered forward with the right full-back into the wing position. It's played back infield by Kamara into Ramsey, and then all the way back to halfway, where it's tidied up nicely by Ezri Konsa. Ramsey twists away from Kovacic again, who's struggling to keep tabs on him. It's played down the right, Cash into the centre. It's tapped away by Gvardiol, almost set back to Ramsey. It's loose inside the box. Bernardo Silva just about deals with it and hacks it to halfway, but Villa on top.
Yeah, just running all over City at the moment through that central area. Kovacic just could not keep up with Ramsey, I think it was, on that right hand side, and Villa just are in such incredible form and have so much confidence, and they don't usually do well when they come here to City, but taking PSG to the wire, dismantling Newcastle at the weekend, absolutely flying.
Well, there are 8 places in Europe up for grabs. That may be extended to 9, and there is a scenario where every team in the top 9 getting Europe, and Manchester United or Spurs end up as a 6th team in the Champions League. But these two can only concentrate on squeezing into the top 5, and Aston Villa have got off to a really good start without piercing the defence, but certainly rattling it.
Yeah, City got away with one. You score there and it just changes the complexion of the game, doesn't it?
Nico O'Reilly, 2-3 yards in from the left touchline, comes forward for Manchester City, slowed down and sent back to Gundogan, who's just left of the centre circle, across to Diaz now, who strides forward, pokes it up into De Bruyne. De Bruyne sends it wide onto Matthias Nunez, and then back infield towards the Belgian. The Belgian plays it wide to the Portuguese Nunez, and then it's all the way back to halfway, and Ruben Diaz, and it's a good shape and a good bit of organisation from Aston Villa to prevent them from getting forward.
Yeah, it's like a 4-4-2 really, and again the width is from the full-backs for City.
Ball clipped forward up towards the edge of the box, headed down by Marmoush, and McAtee is joining the attack now. He gets into the area, nudges it back to Nunez. Nunez in the right wing position, then he finds Bernardo Silva, who's free, right side of the box, coming in on his left foot, plays it to Kovacic centrally now. He nudges it forward, goes back to him from Gundogan, and again there's nowhere really to go for Manchester City because that congested central area of the pitch, the real middle of the City midfield, trying to attack down the middle of the pitch, is so clogged up with Aston Villa jerseys that they have to go back to the halfway line and build again. Diaz trying to spread it wide now for Matthias Nunez, who nudges it back towards Ruben Diaz, and then across to the centre circle where Gvardiol's got it, and City form into their familiar pattern of keeping the ball and horseshoeing left to right. They're back down the right side with Diaz. It's clipped towards the far touchline now, and Marmoush has just peeled out into a left wing position to try and take on Cash. He runs it in, gets to the byline, pokes it through the middle, in towards Silva, who slams it in, and Martinez can't keep it out, and 7 minutes into the game, that could be decisive decisive in the race for the Champions League. Bernardo Silva pops up with a goal that was too hot to handle for Emi Martinez. Marmoush with a brilliant run, spreading out to the left-hand side, beating Cash round the outside, getting to the byline, pulling it back. Bernardo Silva smashed it home, and it's Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 0.
Yeah, it's the first time you've got in behind Villa. Marmoush is a very, very good player, by the way. He knows where the spaces are, and he just uses a little bit of trickery to get past, and he just gets the ball across. It's the power from Bernardo Silva arriving late into the box. He pulls away to the left-hand side. Marmoush, probably I'd say that Cash is a little bit too easily beaten there by Marmoush, but it's just a sheer determination. And Nana, for some reason, steps over the ball, doesn't clear it. And in terms of the defensive, you look at the defending from Aston Villa, and it was particularly poor. I would say goalkeeper couldn't keep a hold of it, and this place erupts.
Well, Bernardo Silva scores the goal. There was a bit of a complaint from Emi Martinez, who was suggesting he was distracted by the presence of James McAtee, who was on the goal line and therefore in an offside position. Actually ended up in the back of the net, McAtee, but I don't think there was any real case to answer there.
Yeah, he was distracted by picking the ball up out of the back of his net. He really needs... He's such a good goalkeeper, but just recently it's that concentration, isn't it? But that wasn't his fault. The defence in front of him needed to keep the ball away. He got a little touch that took it away from Onana, but still I think he didn't want to stick his leg out. I think Onana, Man City, after a slightly dodgy first couple of minutes, found themselves in front.
Well, Pep Guardiola was adamant that the fans had a role to play tonight. He acknowledged that the team had been sloppy at times this season, but he said we need them desperately to support us and make the noise and be there all the time. And they've certainly got something to shout about now. A brilliant opener which takes them up to third in the as it stands table. 61 points from 34 should they win this game. Aston Villa will will stay in 7th position below Chelsea, 57 points from 34. But of course Chelsea, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest will all have a game in hand on these two by the time we finish tonight. There's a collision in midfield. The ball's just run loose to the centre circle, and then Nico O'Reilly's just actually thumped the ball into the face of Yuri Tielemans, who's just getting a little bit of a moment to himself.
Yeah, Maya is just showing him now. He just looks very thoughtful on the side. I think that he'll be really happy with his team's start in terms of how they sort of set themselves up defensively. But again, I think when you look at the Villa team, you look at the weak areas. I'm not saying the weak players, but when Cash goes forward on that right hand side, the space, and that is where Mamouche put himself, and then Cash is always trying to recover. And the ball comes from that left-hand side, but I've been really impressed with Mamouche since I've seen him. That great signing, him and Kustanov, brilliant signings in January.
Yeah, an assist for him tonight. But I'll tell you what, when Aston Villa analysed that goal, they will be looking back at how that ball snuck through four bodies, and why, as you mentioned, Amadou Onana just sort of wafted his foot at the ball and then seemed to pull it away. I mean, there wasn't anybody around him.
I think as a defender, you've just got to change the direction of the ball, obviously not towards goal, but just take it away, because the attackers will be just trying to come in and just doing what Bernardo Silva did. But right, so obviously now they're attacking Matty Cash's side, so they're looking at that right hand side. When he gets forward from right back, they're just looking at that space, and Mamouche has made that run twice now, one resulting in a goal.
Yeah, Mamouche getting a little praise for his tactical awareness there, but I think Emi Martinez will be a little bit disappointed that when the ball went towards him, he couldn't keep it out. He did get a touch on the ball, he got two hands on it, but he was only able to parry it into the net. Here is O'Reilly down that left-hand side. Rashford getting back to help out, helps to push him out of play. Goes out for a throw-in, it's level with the edge of the penalty area. Over on the far side, you're listening to Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And don't forget, you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like Manchester City versus Aston Villa live right now. Search Now Sports. Tomorrow, Arsenal against Crystal Palace. If Arsenal lose that match, then Liverpool will be champions of England. On Saturday we've got 4 big moments for you. Chelsea Everton at 12:30, Luton commentary the same time on TalkSport 2 in the Championship. Game Day Live takes you round the grounds with Adrian Durham at 2:30, and then at 5:15 Crystal Palace against Aston Villa in the FA Cup semi-final. Make sure you're with us for that. And then on Sunday, Forest Man City is also live at 4:30 here on TalkSport. Here is McAtee as City come forward once again. down the right into the advanced position down by the corner flag. He tucks it back to Nunez, and then De Bruyne stabs the ball forward, looking for the forward run of McAtee, who'd gone down the inside right channel, but out comes Martinez, and this time does collect Lucy.
Yeah, City looked buoyant in scoring that goal because they had a shock at the start when Rashford hit the post, but they're just trying to tempt Villa out, which they don't really do. Villa don't tend to press. They've got a low intensity press if they do, and I think that's one of the reasons why Marcus Rashford excels in this team, because he doesn't really like to press when his team haven't got the ball. But they need to get themselves just back on an even keel, Villa, because they have the quality. We already saw it in the opening minute.
Oh, he certainly did. An opportunity for Marcus Rashford. Actually, it was quite a time ago now. It was only 11 and a half minutes ago, and he hit the inside of the post for the first real attack of the game, but City have since gone up the other end and managed to prise open the Villa defence. Forward ball is long out towards the right by City, looking for Nunez. It's overhit this time and goes out of play, and Digne will take the throw in the left full-back position. Usually a reliable source of good quality balls forward. Tielemans has got whacked again, this time by Bernardo Silva. The ball's repelled out and towards the area that occupies the technical boxes, and Unai Emery and Pep Guardiola just about 5 yards apart. Out comes the fourth official, Josh Smith, just to make sure that there's someone between them. Not that there will be any animosity, I wouldn't have thought. Well, one by Mamouche over on the far side as Villa look to try and play out from the back, and Gundogan keeps City on the front foot, and after an early period in which Villa were in control, now it's City who are firmly on top. Kovacic to Silva, back to the wide right position where it's collected by Nunez. Infield it goes, and Silva swishes the ball through the centre circle, and now it's picked up by Guardiola, who's had a bit of a renaissance in the centre-back area. He's been playing a lot as a left-back for City since he joined. Into Gundogan, back to O'Reilly. Again, they keep hold of the ball, with Guardiola sending it wide. De Bruyne's peeled out towards that far touchline. Now O'Reilly's got it again. He looks to come in field, finds Kovacic, having his best goal-scoring season in over a decade is Mateo Kovacic. Need to play a lot more because of injuries this season than maybe even he anticipated, but he's chipped in with a lot of important goals, including on Saturday against Everton. Here is Nunez. That's not a great touch. He sent that back, and now Rashford is racing away over the halfway line and at pace, dragging them up the pitch. He's got support from Ramsey, who's gone into the box, looks as if he was clipped, gone down, looks at Craig Pawson, and Pawson has said no penalty.
Diaz has got his hands in the air. Great run from Rashford, and this is what Villa are all about, keeping a nice structure defensively, and then as soon as City are a little bit loose with possession, they get themselves at the pitch, and Rashford did that, got himself into the box. Ramsey took the ball off him and then was brought down by the look of it.
Well, it looks as if it was pretty obvious, but maybe not the case at all. Craig Pawson's shaking his head. Tielemans still asking the question. We've got no indication that there is a VAR.
Unai Emery's asking the fourth official, saying, why is nobody looking at that?
They are going to stop the game here, and now he's coming over to have a look at the VAR monitor, which tells you its own story.
Yeah.
We all thought it was a clear penalty right at the very beginning, and now I think Craig Pawson is going to be told too. In fact, Unai Emery is still furious, saying, why didn't he spot that in the first place?
I tell you, so Rashford comes in from out to in from the left-hand side, takes at the edge of the box, takes a bigger touch that goes inside, and what it allows Ramsey to do is just take the ball off him and then cuts across Ruben Diaz, who basically collides with him. And this will be interesting because there's a touch, Ramsey's sort of running quickly, taken off his stride. This is one of them where if it's given against you, you'll be gutted, and if it's not given against you, you'll be gutted. Because what do you think? I think he definitely sort of body...
He contacts him, and he has no intention to play the ball.
He sort of body...
Penalty.
Yeah, definitely. He sort of, I will say body slams him, he doesn't. It's just that connection, isn't it?
It's a bit clumsy, isn't it, from Ruben Diaz, and that's not exactly what you would expect from a player of his level. But Ramsey and Rashford were just too fast for them, I think.
Do you know what? Diaz, when he turned inside for Rashford's bigger touch, he didn't expect Ramsey to be there. So Ramsey got himself, did brilliantly, Ramsey, by the way, get a touch, and then was brought down.
Well, what's going on here? Well, Ortega has come out, had a word with with the referee, and now the incident was shown on the big screen, which now, as a result of the event being shown on the big screen, the crowd are reacting as if to say that's definitely not a penalty. Now Pep Guardiola is saying the same thing towards the fourth official. He's upset, so that's why you're hearing the boos. The key thing is that Marcus Rashford is lining up a penalty, and penalties have been a problem. Marco Asensio missed 2 at Southampton, Watkins missed at Celtic in January, Tielemans missed in November against Crystal Palace. 9 penalties this season. They've scored 5 and missed 4, Aston Villa, but Marcus Rashford is lining this one up from 12 yards to level things up at the Etihad in a massive game in the race for the Champions League. He breathes in the Manchester air, takes 4 steps back, curves his run up, then stutters, right-footed, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and Marcus Rashford levels for Aston Villa back in Manchester and blasting his way onto the back pages again. Marcus Rashford for Villa makes it City 1, Villa 1.
Yeah, it's under a lot of pressure then, Rashford. It took a bit of time, didn't it, for the referee to blow his whistle. City and the fans are complaining, but I'm not being funny, but if that had been the other way around, nobody would have had any complaints in here. It was just one of those where he just couldn't get out of the way, Diaz, and it was clumsy by him. But what a penalty from Rashford. He takes that run up quick, and then he stops, and then he stutters, and then he waits to see where Ortega's going, and he just calmly sides foot into the opposite corner, and that is a good penalty, really under pressure.
Yeah, that was a brilliant penalty from Marcus Rashford. Pep Guardiola, who is borderline looking a little bit ridiculous on the near touchline, has got a yellow card.
I don't know what they're complaining about, honestly. I've just watched it again, and I'd say that it was a penalty.
I mean, it's the way he keeps going up and barracking the fourth official, and then he's doing this odd sort of body pop as if to suggest that Ruben Diaz was trying to get out of the way, and that's what caused the collision in the first place. But the fact of the matter is it's a penalty. It's been converted, but Marmoush is coming through the centre. He's headed the ball towards the goalkeeper. Martinez makes an intervention. It's cleared away. Well, it's feisty, it's fierce, it's 1-1, and it's finally poised.
I tell you what, a header there, header from Bernardo Silva. He's got such a football brain as Bernardo Silva. Headed it into the space behind Villa, and Marmoush nearly got onto it, and Henry Martinez slipped and then eventually just grabbed the ball.
Well, we've got a game on our hands here. Morgan Rogers over on the far side, plays it out towards the wide right position. It's collected by Konza eventually, gets it back to his goalkeeper. It remains 1-1, 20 minutes gone. Live on TalkSport, Onana has to stretch to play it into Tielemans. Good balance to turn away from Kovacic, who wins it back, fires it forward. Gundogan picks it up 5 yards short of the penalty area. Into Marmoush, who skips past 2 challenges and sends it out to De Bruyne. De Bruyne's 10 yards back from the box now. Sends it on to O'Reilly. It's going to be a fiercely contested next 70 minutes or so here at the Etihad Stadium. So much at stake.
I just thought we wanted this, wasn't it? You know, hitting the post in the opening minute, then City scoring, then Villa getting a penalty, and it's just raised the levels in here.
Top match, top game. 2 top teams. Here is Matthias Nunez for Manchester City into Bernardo Silva, who tries to wander back infield. He's blocked by Jacob Ramsey. It's back by Diaz to Gvardiol, and they look to go out the other side. Manchester City taking the lead, but now pegged back by Aston Villa. Cash beaten to the ball a couple of times by Marmoush, but this time he goes down under pressure from Marmoush.
Sorry, Sam, it's important that the way that Villa are set up defensively is 4-4-2, that they don't get dragged out of position. That's exactly how they got the goal, City, where they drag Cash out of the position and they hit the space that he left. Just let the ball move around, you keep it in front of you, and then you track any runners. But you cannot be dragged out towards the ball, and that's exactly what City want to do.
Well, 69% possession for Manchester City, 31 for Aston Villa. Villa have had more of a sight of goal than Manchester City had. Of course, they've had the penalty, but they had that effort that hit the inside of the post as well in the first few moments from Marcus Rashford, who is on the score sheet. His 4th goal in Aston Villa colours. And after so many issues they've had from the penalty spot, he was so cool and calm under pressure.
It's interesting, the formation that City are playing, it's like the back four, full-backs go high, and then it's 2 centre midfielders, 2 10s and 2 forwards. The 2 forwards are wide, so one of the forwards, Mamouche, is on Cash, and then McAtee just stays in between Torres, left centre-back, and Dinas. Very, very clever, so he's just trying to cover that central area when they haven't got it, but also be able to move about and try and drag Aston Villa's back four about.
Yeah, it's almost like a 4-2-2 wide 2, isn't it? It's fascinating to watch, and what is even more fascinating is the speed with which both of them flex into different shapes throughout the course of the game. It's maybe actually the most fascinating thing is watching Guardiola's movements on the near touchline. It looks like he's doing an aerobic routine. Here is McAtee with a back heel into Nunez, who slipped and almost rolled his ankle. He's recovered his footing and then, one back by Bernardo Silva.
Playing well, Silva is everywhere, and that's the sort of work ethic you need in that central area.
Just a little bit quicker to it than Tielemans as well. And they've now possession back, Manchester City, and they're on the attack here with Marnouche, who clips the ball in toward De Bruyne. A little flick on by him, and only could get a couple of follicles on that, and it's scraped through to Emi Martinez, who will clear away.
Yeah, and they are threatening at times, City. It's difficult. You're always sort of at full tilt when you're defending against Manchester City, but that sort of ball from that left inside channel just clipped in for De Bruyne to get something on her head has to be absolutely perfect, but actually has to have some power on it as well.
McAtee putting pressure on Pau Torres, who's kicked the ball straight out of play midway inside the Villa half of the field. Unai Emery now is just trying to organise things as they look to try and defend this throw-in from the right, which Matthias Nunez will take. They toiled for large parts of Saturday's game. De Bruyne was not quite on it. They set up very narrow like they have done tonight to protect the middle of the pitch, but Everton sort of kept them out for large periods. It was only when Doku came on that they really caused enough trouble. They did look like they could concede as well. They conceded chances. Tarkowski hit a post. There were other opportunities as well, but they got over the line.
Do you know what the difference is, Sam, is that they had that dodgy bit and they were losing games in a row, and then all of a sudden teams come here and believe this is a Villa team who are coming here and thinking, right, we make sure we defend. They're not thinking that, they're thinking we will match these, we have a chance. And I think that progressively throughout the season, it's not just Villa and the teams at the top, it's teams at sort of middle and the bottom that I think they can get something, and that is not just about City and how they play and the issues they've got, it's how it affects other teams.
Yeah, it erodes the power of Manchester City, but it also gives strength to those who visit.
Yeah.
Here is Diaz on the near touchline. Nunez trying to turn. There's a little bit of a cuddle from Dean, and then he floats the ball out after escaping his grasp towards O'Reilly, but it's too strong and it flies out of play and it's away for a throw-in over on the far touchline. This is Talk Sport.
Villa play in such a narrow system, and they actually the units move all together, so when the ball's on one side they sort of flood that side, and what City are doing, they're then hitting the diag, so it's either to Mamouche who's gone left, or it's to O'Reilly who goes up from left back, and it's worked a couple of times, and just hitting that area constantly.
1-1. Scoring started with Manchester City. Omar Mamouche racing down the left, setting up Bernardo Silva for goal number 4 of the season, only for Ruben Diaz to get caught in a tangle with Jacob Ramsey, give away a penalty after a VAR review, and Marcus Rashford dispatched that penalty, and it came about actually after they lost the ball in midfield and Aston Villa raced away up the pitch at a breakneck speed, which really unsettled City in the first place. And I think the combination of the speed of Rashford and then the late arrival of Ramsey just outfoxed both Guardiola and Ruben Diaz, who clumsily collided with him and gave away the penalty. Guardiola wasn't happy, but it is 1-1. City had the ball just in front of the centre circle with Kovacic out towards the right, collected by Bernardo Silva, wanders in under the floodlights in the East Manchester evening. Still mild after what was a really good Easter weekend in the north west of the country. We have one day of sunshine, that's good for us. Here is Kovacic going forward, driving the ball goalward from distance, and I mentioned earlier he's had a very good season in front of goal, and he's tested Martinez there.
Yeah, he's dictating the play from deep, Bernardo Silva. It's so important, whether they've not got the ball, they have got the ball, it's always come through him, and that is an important part of big if City are going to win this game. Bernardo Silva needs to continue like this.
Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1, and for the latest odds you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Manchester City to win the game at 20-19 on, Aston Villa 13-5, the draw is 5-2, that's all thanks to Ladbrokes 18+, begambleaware.org. Martinez swirls it out to left back Luca Dini, gets within 10 yards of the halfway line and then gives the ball back to Onana.
Been sloppy, Onana. Been sloppy.
It was casual, goes out of play.
Well, he's been sloppy in that central midfield area. It's so key for Emery. He's got Tielemans further up, that he has to do what Kamara does so well. Just protect and not be dragged out, and make sure your passes are crisp.
Scored at the weekend coming off the bench in Onana. Really good finish. And there's a problem here for Bernardo Silva, who's gone down after a collision with Jacob Ramsey. The referee and linesman assistant on this near side have said absolutely nothing about it. The ball's gone back to halfway. Pep Guardiola has decided to go onto the pitch. Now this is going to be annoying if Pep keeps doing this, because he'll end up getting sent off, and then we won't be able to speak to him afterwards and ask him about all of the details over his frustrations with the penalty and beyond.
Just think of yourself.
Well, we're thinking of the listeners, actually.
Oh, okay, I thought you were thinking about yourself.
I thought about explanations.
So,
if I was speaking about myself, I wouldn't be volunteering to go down and do it.
I tell you what, he was caught by Ramsey. Ramsey was a little bit of a high foot. Now, Bernardo Silva is not the tallest, so when I say high foot, it's sort of high for Bernardo Silva, sort of chest height. It certainly would have hurt.
Yeah. I mean, anywhere else you would have expected the referee to blow for a free kick there, because it is quite high, that foot. And Jacob Ramsey getting away with it. The referee is now going to give an uncontested drop ball over on the far side. And Pep Guardiola still making noises from the edge of the technical area. He's frustrated, muttering to himself under his breath. His hoodie, black hoodie, unzipped. His combat trousers, and I think they call them pundit shoes, don't they? The ones with the white
No, he's not got pundit shoes on. No,
what are they then? I know you're an expert in this.
A little bit canvassy. He would not put himself in a.
He wouldn't.
No chance.
Now, Lucy is an expert. I was with her in Milan. She was taking me to all the fashion haunts last week. Here, Miss McAtee. Ball bounces out into the path of Martinez. You are one for trainers, aren't you?
I'm a trainer fiend, I have to say. Emery's on the sideline, just wants to get his team going. Just because where they're most effective is where they got the penalty from, and that's a real drive up the pitch, whether it's from Morgan Rogers or whether it's from Marcus Rashford.
Well, they've got the outlet, haven't they, with speed, and Manchester City have pushed up to the halfway line here. Martinez has picked the ball up after De Bruyne went towards him. He was just happy to slow the game down, and now Pau Torres comes out with the ball at his feet, plays it forward up to Rashford, into midfield, onto Kamara, looks to release Ramsey. Ramsey made a brilliant run, but now there's another one on the left-hand side from Digne, who gets them up the pitch and then runs into McAtee, who fires the ball out for a throw-in. Level with the edge of the 18-yard box away to our left-hand side. You could see the pattern they were trying to produce there, Lucy.
Yeah, well, Pau Torres is key in terms of he's such a high level as a centre-back that passes forward, that get Villa going. We need to get Morgan Rogers more involved in this game on that right-hand side.
He's seen enough of the ball so far, has he? And Digne drops the ball in towards the head of Onana. It comes towards Konzu, strikes it first time. Rogers is trying to get a shot away. It's bouncing around in front of the 6-yard box, and Ruben Diaz manages to hack it clear. Comes back out left, and De Bruyne comes across, and Ramsey just put enough pressure on him to force him to get away. Another throw-in to Aston Villa.
Onana did well there, because the ball went into the box, he got his head on it, and then it just causes confusion because it bounced, and then Villa desperately trying to get first touch, as were the City defenders.
Well, here comes another Luca Digne catapult from the near touchline. He's sort of diagonally approaching the penalty area. He launches it high into the sky. It's chested down by Onana. He nudges it back. Digne now with a chance to cross. It's a good one towards the far post. Pau Torres was reaching for it, maybe a bit too strong for him. Bounces out the other side, and then it comes off a Villa player and goes out for a throw-in halfway up the other side of the pitch on the left-hand side. 30 minutes gone. Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1. This is Talk Sport with Sam Matterface and Lucy Ward.
So McAtee on this is needed to do more to stop the cross. There's a couple of crosses come in from Luca Digne. McAtee needs to just engage a bit quicker. It's just too easy to get the ball into the box.
taking a touch and moving it forward towards the halfway line. TalkSport on a Tuesday night. Lovely ball forward into Kovacic, who carries it so well. Tackled by Tielemans, who had to intervene at just the right moment, did that, but has given away a corner to Manchester City over on the far side. That was a good carry from Kovacic, dragging Manchester City up the pitch, getting to the edge of the box, and then from the wrong side, Tielemans had to time that interception, and then and he did that, nudged it out towards the far side. Manchester City 1, Villa 1 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Making a big move, planning a clear out. They're all vans of shape and sizes. If you've got a plan, Enterprise have got a van. Here's the corner kick. De Bruyne to take it, far side. He's got O'Reilly at the far post. Vardiol up from the back, so is Diaz. It's whipped in towards the near post. Vardiol gets first contact, but loops it over the top, and it goes out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right.
Yeah, they've worked that. The switch from right to left for City has worked a few times, and they need to do something about that because they're attacking that space. Matty Cashley is on the right hand side, and because they work so well as a unit, they need to close them down. It's Nunez that's doing it from right back.
Sports Bar is back tonight. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on air from 10 o'clock. They'll take your calls 0371 722 344. And tomorrow morning, Ali McCoy's back with Alan Brazil tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. on TalkSport Superstar Breakfast, followed by White and Jordan with Danny Murphy in the studio tomorrow from 10 a.m. Here is Kamara clipping the ball forward into Rodgers, switches it out towards the left, picked up by Digne. Tielemans had made a run in behind the defence and wanted it played early, but was never risked by Digne. Goes back into the centre of the Villa half, and Pau Torres is now on the ball, tall and languid, always a good manipulator of the football. Sometimes makes the odd mistake when he's trying to pass out from the back, but he's always usually a reliable man in possession of the ball. Sent long by Martinez out towards Rodgers, who's trying to roll away from Gvardiol. He's pulling him to the ground there, and I'm sure that the referee was thinking about giving a foul. It looked for all the world as if it should have been. The assistant on the far side didn't flag though, Lucy. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite close to it as well from where we are, near the side of the pitch, but it did look like a foul. Gvardiol just had hold of him.
Mahmoud's chasing at the other one, he's not going to reach it.
Again, that diagonal across wasn't quite right that time, but whether it's Mahmoud's running onto it, whether it's O'Reilly, Villa just need to make sure that Cash is covering that, or if he isn't, then Konsa has.
Who's giving him the extra protection? Because of the position of Rodgers as sort of the number 10 inside on the right hand side,
Kamara.
there isn't anybody who's actually out there full time. Kamara has to shuffle across to try and protect him, but then that leaves its own gap.
Yeah, that's exactly what they have to do. But what Villa do so well is they shuffle as a unit, so if he goes, then Onana goes across with him, and what City are trying to do is to find the gaps because of how they move as a unit, quite a narrow unit across the pitch. The gaps are on the edge.
Ball picked up by O'Reilly, who's dispossessed Morgan Rodgers. Infield it goes to Kovacic now. McAtee screaming for it near side. Digne will get there just in time, and then Ramsey will bring it forward, chest it down. He's being chased by Matthias Nunez, who does brilliantly, gets round him, and then Digne goes in on Kevin De Bruyne a little bit late, and the Frenchman has given the Belgian a bit of a whack, and the Frenchman gets a yellow card.
It's one of those where it was completely late, it was a yellow card, but because it was so close to the touchline and the home fans and the way De Bruyne went down, it was obviously going to be a yellow card. I don't think it's much more than that. De Bruyne just quickly releases. There's hardly any touch whatsoever. I was going to say that before I saw the replay, that there was nothing in it, and then I should have just trusted my first judgment. Yeah.
It was a little tickle, wasn't it? Nothing more than that. A little stub tickle from Luca Digne. I think it was just the speed at which he approached it which caused him a little bit of grief. And De Bruyne, showing his experience, bounced out of the way, and as a result the yellow card was admonished by Craig Pawson. 1-1, this is TalkSport, and remember, despite their defensive issues, and they have had them recently, City have been grinding out results. It's 5 unbeaten in the Premier League now. All elevated out wide towards that left side again. Again, it's O'Reilly with the cross, and in the near post, Marmoush was rising, but He was underneath the ball and he was just a little bit in front of that front post, which meant it was going to be very difficult for him to get it back across goal and test Martinez anyway, but he got underneath it and it looped over the top of the bar and out for a goal kick.
I think against Everton he had the fewest number of touches on the pitch, Marmoush, just because the way that City play sort of lend itself to a number 9, and that sounds ridiculous when they've got Haaland as a number 9 when he's fit. But he's certainly getting himself involved tonight. His movement is excellent. Really, he is a very, very good player, Mamouche.
20 goals and 13 assists in 26 appearances that he made for Eintracht Frankfurt in the first half of the season. And he's already managed 7 goals for Manchester City. 6 in 6 in the Premier League here, including a hat-trick against Newcastle United. He said that was just the beginning. And certainly, I think he's been a key contributor to the upturn that City have had. Well, they had to have an upturn after January, didn't they? Because the fall was so significant. Here is Digne trying to come in field. He's again challenged by Nunez, and then Kovacic tidies up in the middle of the park. Finds Guardiola. Now they're on the front foot again, Manchester City, who have bossed so much of this game. That have conceded once and had their post hit by Marcus Rashford, and maybe haven't tested Emi Martinez despite the possession that they've had. Marmouche and Bernardo Silva trying to push forward. There was a claim of a foul on the Portuguese, but the referee didn't give anything. De Bruyne so fiercely contested this game. No quarter given or asked, because it is so important to everyone.
Yeah, Anana just did really well there. He just managed to get his leg in, but he has to use his physicality a lot better than he does Anana. Just there was perfect. Long leg, just poking the ball away, jumping up, heading. You know, those sort of duels. He should absolutely boss Bernardo Silva. He's like the size of his son, probably.
Yeah, he's absolutely massive, isn't he? He's the biggest one out there. He's a good foot taller than Bernardo Silva, and he's muscular and strong-bodied. He's got such rangy limbs that he can cover the ground so quickly as well, and he can poke one of those long limbs around you if you have the ball a little bit of a distance away from him. He's in possession now, and he's managed to use that brilliantly to take the ball out towards the near side. Digne forward, looking for Rashford, who's got in behind the defence. He's trying to poke it past Ortega, who sort of made his body bigger, hit his knees, I think, and then came out on the near side. But it was a good run from Rashford and a good pick out by Luca Digne.
Yeah, he's a problem for City is Rashford, just because of his pace. And he can get in behind, clever little runs. It's not happened too often, but every time it happens, there's just a little bit of panic amongst the defensive, because it worked all right defensively, City. Just there, he just gets through, he can just penetrate Rashford.
He says he's formed nothing in comparison to Aston Villa, who have won 10 of their last 11 games in all competitions. They are about as hot a streak as you can get, and the only defeat that they have suffered in that run was the one at PSG. They've won every other game in that sequence. Offside playing up against Nunez, free kick to Aston Villa with 5 minutes to go before half-time, live on Talk Sport. And we're here at the Etihad Stadium. Sky's got a bit milky, the floodlights now taking over as the primary light source.
It's interesting that whenever they can, they dictate tempo. Villa
happy to slow it down. Long ball forward by Martinez, looking for Rashford again. That one easy for Diaz to shepherd into Ortega, and then it comes back out into Bernardo Silva, who runs to the centre circle and just trying to feed that into De Bruyne, and then it was lost by De Bruyne, and Bernardo initially tried to nab it, then saw it through to Tielemans.
Rodgers had gone then, Tielemans just took an extra I mean, he's been brilliant, Tielemans, in the last couple of months, but that ball over the top to Rodgers was on.
There's another ball on the outside here for Cash if Tielemans can find him. He has. He now attacks down that right side. Back to Tielemans. Marmouche goes across. Marmouche sort of clatters into him rather clumsily. The free kick goes Tielemans' way, and it's going to be a free kick in from the touchline over on the far side.
Yeah, a little bit naive from Marmouche. As soon as you touch a player who's got he did so well, Tielemans, to just get his body between the ball and Marmouche. As soon as he does that, and you touch him or get hold of him, which is what he did, hand and shoulder, and then complains when the referee gives a free kick.
Marmouche, the Egyptian, who's peeling out to that left-hand side and then direct running at Madikash, forced the opening for City's first goal. Gives away the free kick just before half-time. And Aston Villa looking to try and cultivate something. Interestingly, it's Marcus Rashford who's gone out to take it. Now he's some way from goal here. He's miles out to the right-hand side. He's going to try and twist this ball into the box, curl it in, and in-swinger in behind that City defence, and then hope that someone attacks it. It is Rashford's delivery, doing just that, away by Gundogan. It didn't get in behind the defence, and McAtee will look to release Marmoush, and City will look to counter, and they've got 4 on 3 there if they play it sensibly. Marmoush charges forward, Rashford gets back, and Rashford
did really well then. Rashford
does enough to win the ball. Marmoush is not happy, nor is Pep Guardiola, but ultimately Aston Villa have got the ball back, and they stifled a City counter-attack. Rodgers swirls the ball out to the right-hand side, collected by Ramsey. Just approaches the City box with an edge and a menace about him. Looks back to Kamara. Kamara plays it back wide again. Still, Aston Villa have the ball. 42 on the clock, 1-1.
That was a big chance for City counters. I think the last couple of seasons they've done more counters, but he just doesn't want them doing that, Guardiola. But they had a massive chance then. Good defending Rashford.
Digne made a really good run down the left-hand side. It took a bit of time to get it to him. You were right when you said they like to control the tempo. If they don't think that there is a option to breach that line, they will wait. They'll go again. They'll slow things down, whether that's with the goalkeeper or whether it's when they're in possession, in opposition territory, Aston Villa. And they won't force the issue. They're tactically smart, which is probably why they've won so many games over the course of the last month and a half. Ball back to Martinez on the edge of his penalty area. Rashford pressed up against Diaz, and Tielemans feeds it into him. Tielemans gets it back. Digne's gone again down the left, and he's got space and he's got room to attack. Nunez comes out. That allows Rodgers to go down the outside. His cross is blocked by Diaz, and it spirals into the air and goes behind for a corner for Aston Villa.
Just watching Guardiola there, so they got away straight up the middle of the pitch, Villa, and then go out wide, which is what they always tend to do. And I watched Guardiola, who was watching Gundogan, he was watching Marmoush, and then he had a right go at the pair of them for it, allowing it to get up the pitch centrally.
Pep Guardiola is just taking his seat, probably for the first time I think in the whole of the first half. 90 seconds to go at the end of the first 45. It's Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1. Here is Rashford to take it, right-footed from the corner on this near side. There's a clutch of blue shirts and claret ones right in the middle of the 6-yard box. It's into Onana, who heads it. It's blocked and cleared away. And then there's a challenge on the edge of the box, which the City players aren't happy with, on McAtee. And I think it's Tielemans who's the guilty party this time. But Craig Pawson giving nothing more than a free kick. I think Nico O'Reilly blocked that from Onana.
What a header that was from Onana. He got up really well. He blocked it. He had absolutely nothing about it. I tell you what, there's a lot of moaning going on in here. McAtee, they're both quite within their rights to go for the balls. It comes back out, ricochets off O'Reilly. And Digne, who obviously they're trying to get booked, and he goes to it, hardly touches him. I'm not being funny, and everybody is moaning in here.
Yeah, it was Digne, and they were asking for a second yellow card, which he didn't get. And the referee just said play on. And he's got to keep a cool head, I think, Craig Pawson, because, as you said, there's a bit of cheerleading going on, isn't there?
It's painful. I mean, I know the stakes of this game, but City are better than that.
Ball up towards Gundogan, out left towards O'Reilly. Into Gvardiol. There's going to be 4 minutes of added time at the end of this first 45. The first 45, I must admit, I don't really want to stop, Lucy.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Here is Nunez down the right-hand side, blocked by Digne, gets it back to Emi Martinez, clips into the air, but only as far as De Bruyne, who looks as if he may have used his arm to control that. Referee has allowed play on. He's gone wide to O'Reilly, ball back into the box, and Onana has to shovel it away. It wasn't as comfortable as maybe he might have liked to have been. It's eventually cleared by Villa, but it's Bernardo Silva who picks it up. Now it's with Gvardiol. We're into additional time at the end of the first 45, live on TalkSport in the Premier League on this Tuesday night. It's with Ruben Diaz up into the midpoint of the Villa half. He tries to nudge it forward to McAtee. McAtee couldn't get it under control. De Bruyne made a good run. Look at Rashford, he's made a steaming run forward. They didn't release him early enough. And then Tielemans, who tried to keep hold of it so Rashford would get back onside, was dispossessed, and Diaz brings it clear.
Yeah, that just shows you that when you count, it's not just about sprinting forward, it's about running forward with purpose. Tielemans couldn't have passed it there, he'd have been offside, and then he was dispossessed.
Just went a little bit too early, didn't he, Marcus Rashford? As the ball goes into the box towards De Bruyne, it's caught by Emi Martinez. Rodgers has peeled out to the right-hand side. Martinez is waiting once again. And I think Aston Villa will be pretty happy if the scoreline remains this way as they go in to the half-time break. Villa have had a weakness this season. It is on the road against the tougher opponents. 34 of their 57 points have come at Villa Park. They've lost at Palace, they've lost at Wolves, they've lost at Newcastle, Liverpool and Tottenham, albeit many of those came before the new signings had bedded in. They've come back from a goal down here to level things up, and they've competed well with this Manchester City side. And it's everything that we hoped it would be. Here is Cash right side, looking for Rodgers. Rodgers loses control of the ball.
He's getting frustrated, Rodgers, because he had absolutely none of the ball, so he slid in there, he was lucky, didn't give the foul away.
Manana, loose again. Gives it straight back to Kovacic. Kovacic moves forward. He's within 10 yards of the 18-yard box. Into Gundogan, back to Silva. Switch to the right. Lots of room here for Nunez. Back to McAtee. He elevates the ball left-footed towards Marmoush, far post. He stabs out a foot, but he's never going to reach it. And it goes behind and away for another goal kick. Emi Martinez and Aston Villa, 1-1.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva again dictating everything, so that everything goes through him in that central midfield area. Kovacic is there protecting next to him, but he's spraying the ball out wide, he's in possession of it, and it's key for him leading that little charge for Manchester City.
Emery just flexing those jaw muscles and scratching the chin, looking a little bit pensive down on the touchline. Kamara sends it back to Emi Martinez again from the halfway line after the Argentine had initially kicked the ball long. He's doing that once more up towards the left-hand side. It's going to be Matheus Nunez who wins the first ball, unchallenged really, and Nana takes it away from De Bruyne, and then De Bruyne commits to touching the ball, and Nana just sort of grimaces as he runs out on this near side. He hasn't had the most comfortable first 45 minutes, Lucy.
Emery's not particularly I mean, he's done some good things, but it just, do you know what it looks like? Just a lack of concentration. You can't have a lack of concentration in an Emery team, because wherever the ball is on the pitch, there's somewhere where you need to be. And he's not quite got it right at the moment.
Conte nudges it back to his goalkeeper. We've now played 3.5 minutes. So it's a little bit loose from Emi Martinez, and it's won by McAtee, and Nana does do enough this time to block it. Nunez read the flight of the ball, intercepted, found McAtee, and for a moment there was a little bit of panic amongst the Aston Villa support. They've won it back through Ramsey, sent it wide to Cash. Cash gallops forward at pace over the halfway line. He looks to take on O'Reilly. He continues. He goes past O'Reilly. Producer crosses the box. It's headed away by Bernardo Silva, only as far as Rashford. He's on the edge of the area. It was pushed away by Kovacic. He wants a free kick. The referee says no, and as a result of that, City go on a counter at the other end. Marmoush runs over the halfway line, but there is 5 claret and blue shirts. Now the referee does give a free kick, and in fact it brings the first half to a complete close, and it's the perfect ending actually to what has been a fiercely contested first 45 minutes at the Etihad Stadium. Aston Villa had won 3 straight away league games before tonight, but that was before they bumped into a Manchester City team who were desperate to ensure they get into the Champions League again. There's a lot of work to do for both yet. There is all to play for. Silva started things off 7 minutes into the game, beating Emi Martinez, only for Aston Villa to equalise after a penalty given against Ruben Diaz was converted by Marcus Rashford. Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1 at half-time. Don't get me involved to try and break up your little spat.
No, we've had a good time actually at half-time. We had a little bit of an argument. It was nice to have a break from you for 10 or 15 minutes, to be honest.
You weren't complaining last week when we were taking you out to posh restaurants.
Yeah, that's right, on my birthday.
Celebrate your birthday. We're underway at the start of the second half. Live on Talk Sport. It's Aston Villa, Manchester City. Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1. And a big 45 minutes for both these two teams who are desperate to get into the top 5 and desperate to make the Champions League. It could be the cup final fixture as well, both in action on TalkSport this weekend. Saturday Villa play Palace, whilst it's Forest for Manchester City on Sunday. No changes from either of the two teams at the break, and Manchester City shooting from right to left in the second half in those light blue jerseys with white shorts and dark socks, and Aston Villa all in claret body jerseys and claret shorts tonight with white socks and light blue sleeves. I'll go through the 11s for you in just a second. And the ball has been picked up by Matty Cash on this near touchline. Manchester City have a great record against Aston Villa here at the Etihad Stadium. And they have won each of their past 14 Premier League games against Aston Villa on this pitch. The last home defeat came on the 28th of April 2007. John Carew and Sean Maloney scored the goals. Gabby Agbonlahor was leading the line for Aston Villa, and Morgan Rogers
brought down there.
Thought he was brought down as the ball was sent long down the right channel. He was squeezed in between O'Reilly and Vardiol, and he wanted a free kick on the edge of the box and didn't get one.
Yeah, the referee was in, to be fair to him, he was in a good position, but it's a good strong run. It's the first one we've really seen from Morgan Rogers in this game, and I'm sure that's something that Emery emphasised at half-time.
Here is O'Reilly out towards the near touchline. He now attacks Matty Cash, gets towards the edge of the penalty area, then sends it to Gundogan. He chips the ball into the air. It drops kindly for Nunez, who then brings it down well and then gives it straight to Ramsey, and Ramsey will try to lead an escape but runs into Bernardo Silva. He gets it back to Ruben Diaz, and then the ball is played into Kevin De Bruyne, who might have a big say in what happens in the next 45 minutes or so. Stefan Ortega is the City goalkeeper, the right back Nunez, Diaz, Vardiol and O'Reilly making up the back four. Gundogan and Kovacic the deeper line of the midfield players, with De Bruyne allowed to do what he wants really. McAtee and Bernardo Silva also behind Marmoush, who's in attack. Here is De Bruyne touching the ball back to Kovacic. Kovacic across to Bernardo Silva, and then all the way back towards the halfway line where it's collected by Ruben Diaz, and Aston Villa trying to stay in the shape. A bit of pressure from Rogers, but the ball runs into midfield and there's space from Bernardo Silva. An excellent footwork by Marmoush to poke the ball down the left, but Riley couldn't bring it under control and it goes out of play.
Do you know what Marmoush does? He bustles with the ball. You know, he dribbles, but he sort of uses his physicality as well to sort of bustle past players, and he does it really, really well, really quick. But both teams in the first half have a good defensive shape about them. Both teams defending well. Both teams, when they've had space, trying to attack well as well. I think that's why it's such a competitive game.
Ball cleared by Martinez out towards the near side. Rogers wrestling with Vardiol. The ball breaks on halfway for Matt Cash into Rogers again. Rogers looks a little bit more fired up at the start of the second half. Maybe a flea in his ear at half time.
He'll got a rollicking to get involved, I would suspect, from Emery.
A couple of substitutes warming up on the near side, including the return of Manuel Akanji to the Etihad Stadium, away to our left-hand side, as Matty Cash prefers to take the throw-in on the near touchline. It's launched in towards the edge of the box. There's a foul by Rogers on Gvardiol and a free kick to Manchester City. So April 2007, the last time that an Aston Villa team won here against Manchester City. On that exact weekend, there was an earthquake in Kent. I just heard a few rumbles outside there. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, I thought at first it was a drum, but it wasn't. It wasn't even fireworks. Interesting. Manchester.
It was a thunderclap. I mean, there was a bit of a stormy air around maybe tonight. It was a nice day, and sometimes that ends in a thunderclap and a bit of lightning up here. Here is Kamara just short of the halfway line, sending it down the right hand side, looking for Cash. Across comes Gvardiol, and he'll see it all the way back to the goalkeeper Stefan Ortega.
I thought a thunderclap was what the Icelandic fans do.
Yeah, that is.
Manchester just have it.
It's coming from the sky. The ball won by Rogers from the wrong side, and a free kick has been given, and a yellow card against Rogers, who I think maybe has started a little bit too eagerly at the beginning of this second half. They do have Martinez in goal, Cash, Konza, Torres and Digne the back four, Kamara, Tielemans and Onana, Ramsey and Rogers supporting Rashford in attack, and he was pulling back O'Reilly, which has generated the free kick 20 yards from the edge of the penalty area.
Strong run by O'Reilly. Rogers couldn't keep up with him. You don't often say that.
And he does have options to replace those in the attack if he needs to, and he will bring those finishes on Unai Emery as the game goes on. But it's a yellow card for Rogers, who has 5 goal involvements in his last 4 appearances. McAtee with a lovely free kick to the far post, looking for Vardiol, and Onana sticks out one of those long pipe cleaner legs and tucks it behind.
Big smile from Onana. What a ball that is, by the way. right in front of the Villa line of defence, and looked like it was going to be a certain goal, but Onana just sticks his leg out and just makes sure that it goes beyond Guardiola.
Oh, it's a brilliant delivery from James McAtee, and it was an excellent intervention by Andre Onana. Amadou Onana, not Andre Onana, he's the other side of Manchester. Here is the corner kick into Guardiola's header, is helped on by O'Reilly over the top of the crossbar from 6 yards out, but Cash, I think, got enough on it as well, and it goes out for another corner to Manchester City. 1-1.
I don't think it was threatening that either. Cash got something on it, a little header that I don't think he was going in, but just felt the threat of O'Reilly, didn't he, Cash? Had to just clear.
De Bruyne to take the corner in front of the Manchester City fans away to our left, the end which is being extended up further into the sky with an extra tier which will be open at the beginning of the season. De Bruyne sends the ball into the centre, away by Onana again. Rashford looked to escape, but Marmoush won it back. De Bruyne's gone down the left side, produced a cross. Onana there again pushes it out of play. Well, he might have had a very difficult first half in terms of his in possession game, but his defensive work at the start of the second has been exemplary.
Yeah, good concentration from Onana, which is what was asked of him, but good start on this left hand side from De Bruyne.
Kovacic lurking on the edge of the penalty area, got to be careful of him from range. Marmoush 2, and there's 3 stacked at the back post. O'Reilly making a move towards the centre, and Martinez will come and grab, and then Rashford has gone, and the ball has been released into Kamara. He's now to hold his run, Rashford. Now he's gone again, and Kamara then poked it, was stopped by Omar Marmoush from reaching
Martinez is down. He got flattered, I think, because he just released the ball quickly to Kamara, and just the players running back past him. I think somebody caught him.
He's holding the back of his head. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
But might have been Ilkay Gundogan who caught him as he was running out from the back. Yeah, he did. Just caught him on the back of the head.
A little bit of a forearm.
It's a bit of a shame actually, because if they'd released the ball a little bit better there, Rashford had made the run from inside his own half, and there wasn't anybody in a blue shirt inside that half of the pitch. If they got it to him quickly, he had a whole green grass to run into.
It could have been straight to Rashford rather than into Kamara, because Rashford had already gone.
And decided to go to Kamara, slowed it down a little bit. Gundogan has been spoken to, nothing more than that, and it's going to be an uncontested drop ball inside Manchester City territory. Guardiola has possession for City. 1-1 on TalkSport, with the sports bar to come after 10 o'clock tonight. We'll get the interviews straight afterwards. 03717 22 33 44. That's the number to call if you want to get in touch with Jamie and Jason tonight. And all the reaction as well coming your way. Here is McAtee out to the far touchline. Manchester City on the attack now with Matheus Nunes, who gets beyond the defender Luca Dean and then slips.
He's fallen a couple of times. He actually looked like he'd been shot then. He just went flying, taken out, but he didn't. He just slipped. Twice he slipped into the first half as well.
Stud problem?
Pardon?
Stud problem?
Probably.
She's in a playful mood tonight. I don't know if you've noticed this. It's a goal kick away to our left. Kick clear up over the halfway line, looking for Rodgers.
He's caught well with Rodgers, by the way, Guardiola.
He has, and actually, do you know what? I think when he was playing at left back week in, week out, there was one or two who were thinking, is this guy really 77 million quid's worth of defender? But actually, in the centre, he's looked a lot better, hasn't he?
He's not giving him any time to turn. I mean, we talk about Rodgers not impacting the game because of him, but a lot of the times, Guardiola, the way he's dealt with him.
Well, one by he's not given it. It's given a free kick against Onana. Amadou Onana protesting his innocence. Tielemans in the ear of the referee as well. He thought he'd got away.
Yeah, it's because it was against Bernardo Silva. There's such a difference in height between those two.
Yes, you rather unkindly said that he was the size of his son earlier on. Here is De Bruyne down the right-hand side, getting into a right-wing position, producing across towards the far post. It's watched by Cash. It's cleared away. O'Reilly on the volley. He misses the target. It goes behind after the clearance from Cash drops out of the sky, and it's smashed behind and out for a goal kick. Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like Manchester City versus Aston Villa, live right now. Search Now Sports.
It's certainly worth an effort from O'Reilly as it came to him. Obviously got it in his locker to have a strike on the volley.
Oh dear. Luca Digne playing out from the back, ball played into Onana, out to Digne. Digne tried to return it to Pau Torres, went the wrong side of him and straight out for a corner.
They're just putting pressure on themselves, Aston Villa. They've finally got themselves out from a little bit of continued momentum high up the pitch from City, and then just give them another corner.
De Bruyne will take it. Diaz is up from the back, hasn't scored for a long time, Ruben Diaz. O'Reilly, who has scored quite often recently. It's in towards Ruben Diaz, his right-footed shot takes a cannon off a defender and goes out for another corner kick over on the far side, but his movement towards the near post, he just sort of lined up a right foot volley which went into the ground and off the defender and wide.
Yeah, it's just building for Manchester City, isn't it? You can sort of sense it in the air. Villa on the back foot, literally, hits Kamara and managed to make sure it didn't go in the back of the net.
Here is the corner which will be taken by De Bruyne, right-footed, an arcing one which goes out to Marmoush, who's on the edge of the box, takes one touch, then shoots towards the near post, but misguided. It looks like it took another flick though. It's another corner, and they're racking these up now, and the pressure is starting to build on this Aston Villa defence, and Onana and Martinez just doing the swirling of the arms to try and raise the level of intensity that is required here to repel this City attack.
Just putting the foot down on top of Aston Villa at the moment, but they need something from it. When you're on top in games as close as this, you need to make it count.
Might see Watkins and Asensio in the next few moments here. Let's see what happens as the corner comes in from the near touchline. It's going to be De Bruyne to take it. This is TalkSport. De Bruyne, right hand in the air, right foot round the ball towards the far post, but it's grabbed by Martinez. And again, Rashford is away, and again Martinez is prevented from releasing the ball. He's a little bit frustrated actually, because he felt as if someone came in front of him and stopped him from doing so.
Do you know what he does well, Martinez? And it will sound funny, but he catches the ball. You know, when it comes across, he catches it. He doesn't punch it. If he can catch it, he does so, and it just puts them on the front foot. And again, he just couldn't get the ball out to Rashford quick enough.
It will happen once, there's no doubt about it. They'll get it right once, and then Manchester City have got to make sure that they cover it. Kamara inside his own penalty area, being harassed by De Bruyne, manages to get it up to Rodgers, who takes it in so well, plays it into Tielemans, and Rashford's on the shoulder of the defender, but the ball has gone wide to Cash instead. Cash told to attack the right flank, turns it back in towards the halfway line. Kamara has it now. He moves down the right-hand side. John McGinn getting stripped and ready for action. There's a collision on the near side, but it comes kindly for Rodgers, who turns and faces up the defence, comes in field, draws the foul, wins the free kick 10 yards short of the edge of the box on the right-hand side.
Yeah,
he certainly won the foul as well, didn't he, by running at the defence.
Yeah, Guardiola's done well against Rodgers, but he just got a bit of space, Rodgers, and just pulls the ball away from him. He has to do something, puts his hands across Rodgers while he's running, getting up to full speed. And this is a chance now for Villa just to relieve a little bit of pressure on themselves. It's been constantly, we've been looking at the other end of the pitch to Villa's defensive area for the opening part of this second half. Can Villa just create something now at the other end?
Like so, the Sassy looks as if he's getting stripped and ready for action, but John McGinn definitely is coming on in the next few moments. Here first of all though is Tielemans with a free kick from this right hand side. He will try and chip this in behind the defensive line of Manchester City, which is just sort of lined up on the edge of the 18-yard box. They're just taking a step away from that actually, so they're about 19-20 yards out from goal. Here comes the run down the right side from Ramsey, which they tried to exploit, didn't work, so Tielemans then goes on, beats one challenge, bursts into the box, gets down the right hand side, pulls the ball across the face of goal. It's blocked by the retreating Guardiola and cleared out on this near touchline, and then Marmoush picks it up and charges forward. Rashford dives into a challenge, he doesn't connect, but De Bruyne's got the ball on halfway. It's blood and thunder stuff, and then a lovely ball over the top for McAtee, who takes it brilliantly, scoops it over the goalkeeper and misses by an inch. Oh, it was so close to being 2-1 City, and it would have been a beautiful finish from James McAtee, blading over the top, beat the offside trap by De Bruyne's beautiful ball, and then he floated it over Martinez, who's stranded and could only look over his shoulder as it dropped just inches wide of the post.
It was a brilliant bit of play. Villa just putting pressure on at the other end with Tielemans, and then Man City getting McAtee. He's such a clever little player. He looks up, sees Martinez, and Martinez didn't even try to go back. Pep Guardiola on his knees, head in hands, how that missed, but it was, I think Martinez could just see that it was going right, but there's nothing he'd been able to do about it had it just been on target there. But they're making the substitutions now.
Matt Cash for Axel Disasi, Ramsey off as well, and on comes John McGinn. So I wonder if that was a little bit more of almost a conventional midfield with a 4-4-2. It may well be that McGinn goes out to that left-hand side and Rodgers comes out to the right. We'll see. There's still going to be three in midfield, I think, with the two at the base, Anana and Kamara and Tielemans further forward. It looks as if McGinn's going out to that left now. Disasi's going to come and play right back, just to block up that channel, I think, where Marmoush has had quite a lot of joy. Here is Gvardiol. He takes the ball off Rodgers and moves forward. He's got De Bruyne in space. He's going to cut the ball back. Rodgers takes a tackle and gives away a free kick. He's going to have to be a little bit careful, I think. Morgan Rodgers, who had such a great season and was a thorn in the City side at Villa Park earlier in the campaign. Obviously desperate to make an impact tonight, but he doesn't want to get sent off.
No, he certainly doesn't. He just caught De Bruyne there. He's in a couple of little bits in the second half, Rodgers, but not really the Rodgers we've seen all the way through the season.
It's Manchester City who are the aggressors at this moment. 62 gone, 1-1. This is Talk Sport live at the Etihad Stadium. And there's going to be a free kick for De Bruyne to take it right-footed, swirling it towards the far edge of the penalty area. And he does just that, a little bit closer towards the edge of the 6-yard box actually by Pau Torres, who clears it away. Tielemans with a poor clearance, and then Kovacic with another effort from range. And he's so good at those snapshots on the edge of the box, which just catches everyone off guard, but not Martinez, who leant to his right and grabbed the ball kindly.
Yes, it's a clean strike of the ball from Kovacic, that's for sure.
It's brilliant from Anana. He's evaded the challenge of De Bruyne, fed the ball into Rashford, then played it over the halfway line. He might have been caught there, and then Rashford has gone again. Ortega has come out. He's come out too much. He's sent it towards the near post. He's hit the side netting. So close to a second goal for Rashford, and a mistake in midfield by De Bruyne started it off because Anana brilliantly evaded him. Then there was a little catch from De Bruyne on Anana's shins. He's gone down as a result, but the move fluidly went up the park so quickly, with eventually Rashford being played into the box, and Ortega came out far too keen, and he was a bit fortunate that Rashford went wide enough that the angle was too tight.
That run is the run from Rashford. He runs from deep, but once he starts running, then the defender is up to full speed by the time he gets to the defenders. If you don't track him, you've absolutely no chance. And he was unlucky there, took a touch past the goalkeeper, come out very, very quickly, and just couldn't wrap his foot around the ball to put it in the back of the net. But there's always that option. That's what Villa have always got when defending. They've done a lot of defending in this second half.
Villa did beat Manchester City earlier in the season at Villa Park, a game live on TalkSport that they totally deserved to win. This has been much more even. In fact, I'd say that Manchester City have certainly edged it in terms of possession, chances and pressure, especially in the second half.
Yeah, definitely.
But Aston Villa is still very much in the game. Ball sent long out towards De Bruyne. Across comes Digne. I think the change is going to be really important here because City have still got Savinho and Doku as jokers to play, and Asensio is still on the near touchline, so is Martson and Donyell Marlon, who can add to the attack. It's currently City 1, Aston Villa 1, live on TalkSport. The Ladbrokes latest odds at Manchester City 11-8, Villa 18-5. The draw is 5-4. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes 18+, BigGambleAware.org. A little bit of a twist and shove on the edge of the box yields a free kick for Kamara. With 25 to go, and Aston Villa have possession again.
Yeah, City have got a better structure, so they actually call it a rest defence. That sounds ridiculous, but it's basically the structure. When we're in possession City, they've got the players in the right position just in case they lose it, so they can just pounce. And I know they gave a free kick away there, but that hasn't been good this season, but he's got that sorted out.
Martinez under pressure as they play out from the edge of their own 6-yard box to Luca Digne. I don't think he really wanted it there, and across comes Silva, forced it out for a throw-in over on the far side. Phil Foden is sitting down. Everybody else has warmed up away to our left-hand side. I haven't seen much of him recently. He's picked up a little bit of a knock. He's had a bit of a tough time with form. He's certainly not been the player he was last campaign. Kamara trying to guide it away from Kovacic. He did well initially, then lost it. Tielemans wins it back, pokes it forward, but Bernardo Silva is there. That central area has been like a war zone. The ball picked up on this near side. It's clash after clash after clash. The ball scruffily being exchanged between the two parties. Back out to the left it goes. O'Reilly picks it up now. Infield to Bernardo Silva and then Kevin De Bruyne, bright red in the faces. The ball comes in from O'Reilly. It's a lovely delivery and McAtee misses his connection. Doesn't quite latch onto the end of what was an absolutely glorious pass from Nico O'Reilly.
What a pass from O'Reilly. He just absolutely made sure that it was just behind the Villa defence for McAtee to run onto, and he just got it all wrong in the middle. There's a couple of times now McAtee's had a chance to score. He just missed it with his left foot as he swung his left foot across it and it hit his right foot.
I was here 10 days ago when he missed several chances before eventually he got his goal. Nico O'Reilly got a goal as well, and he's bounding forward now, leading the City charge. Into Gundogan, midpoint of the Villa half of the field. They work it wide to the right. Nunez back into Bernardo Silva. 1-1, 67 on a really important night. High stakes night at the Etihad. Another good ball into the box, this time deflected behind by the retreating Onana. It's out for another corner.
Too easy for O'Reilly to get the ball. He just can put his head up, have a little look, take a touch, and nobody's coming engaged in. The ball into the box has to be stopped from Villa.
Isn't the reason they brought on Axel Disasi down this right hand side, to stop that channel from being the most profitable one?
He hasn't got close yet.
Here is the corner taken on the far side by De Bruyne. Austin McPhee, the set-piece coach for Aston Villa, is out.
They need to sit down, these set-piece coaches, honestly.
I was waiting.
What is he doing? Nobody can hear him anyway.
It was going to be you or April that moaned about it.
I mean, brilliant and all that. You've done absolutely brilliant, but sit down.
Here is De Bruyne in towards the near post. Guardiola over the bar with the header. You're not up for set-piece coaches having murals?
No, set-piece coaches are very, very good in terms of, making sure that they produce nice little set-piece routines and they score goals from them. But you don't have to stand up. You don't have to stand up because nobody can hear you. It's so loud in here.
The pamphlets that they come up with are really nice as well. Have you ever seen one of those little flip books that they do? Yeah, it's almost like a little pamphlet, where you can look.
Oh, you mean, yeah.
You've seen them. I know you've seen them. Here's McGinn out towards the left-hand side, collected up on the halfway line by Digne. It's chipped towards the edge of the box. Guardiola's going to get there, but he's headed it into the path of Rashford, who's driven wide a little bit, looks to take on O'Reilly, stops the ball. He's inside the box now, trying to go through O'Reilly's legs. O'Reilly just sort of waited, just picked him off at the vital moment, and then McGinn's done the same thing as they look to charge away. So the Manchester City crowd loved that, didn't they? Because it was Nico O'Reilly dispossessing Marcus Rashford.
Well, one of the biggest cheers of the night, that from the City fans. But he's been good, Rashford, I have to say. He's been booed, but he's been good in terms of his movement.
He's been excellent tonight, Marcus Rashford. And it's all the more frustrating for those of red Mancunian persuasion to watch him flourish as much as he has in the second half of the season. I mean, he hasn't been consistently brilliant every minute of the games that he's played, but he's made a real difference.
Yeah, big moments. Big moments. That's what when Villa need Rashford.
And certainly played a part in the winning of the penalty and, of course, the scoring of the penalty, which means it's still Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1, with 20 minutes to go, just a little bit over 20 minutes to go, live on TalkSport in this huge game at the top of the Premier League. Well won by Onana, excellent work, and now on to Rashford. He's on the halfway line, he's being chased by 6-7 City players, and he's dragging the ball down towards the right hand side, plays it against Ruben Diaz and puts it out of play. I mean, terrific from Marcus Rashford. A yellow card, I think that's for Josko Gvardiol, is it?
Yeah.
For a challenge on halfway on Yuri Tielemans, which has resulted in Tielemans going to grounds. A yellow card for Josko Gvardiol. What a great run from Marcus Rashford.
Pace scares defenders to death. I don't care how good you are as a defender. Pace scares them to death. Seeing the challenge on Tielemans, it's certainly a sore one from Gvardiol. But it's a great run. So that's how they know what a threat Rashford is in terms of how Villa play, and when City are out of shape and when they lose possession, they all just recovered. They didn't recover, they just recovered towards him. So there's sort of 4 or 5 of them recovering towards him rather than recovering towards their own goals.
It's a bit of a playground scene, wasn't it, where the big boy in the playground takes the ball away and everybody else chases him out to the margins of the pitch. Tielemans is hobbling. Doku is preparing to come on. The ball being tossed in by Disasi, straight to Gundogan, who manages to head it clear. We're in the Manchester City half of the field, we're midway through it, and Kamara is trying to pick out Rodgers, but it's over his head and it just goes out of play and away to our right hand side for a goal kick. This is TalkSport 1-1.
And they've wasted a couple of those opportunities, Villa. I mean, it was a poor throw-in from Disasi, but they still got the ball from Kamara, and then he's just trying to pinpoint it onto Morgan Rodgers' head, where he could have recycled a bit.
And here is Ruben Diaz as they look to play out from the back and move up the pitch. And 2 substitutions for Villa so far. We're looking for our first one from Manchester City. And it's going to be Jeremy Doku, who's ready and poised to pounce. And he's getting some instructions here about playing in the inside left channel from Pep Guardiola. He wants him to try and run Disasi and Rodgers. Cause some more grief for them. They've had a bit of grief tonight. Disasi's only been on for 10 minutes. Here is Guardiola. He keeps getting dragged in a little bit too centrally, I think. Does Disasi. McAtee is going to come off for Manchester City.
He's had a couple of chances, hasn't he? McAtee is a really good young player.
Ball fed down the left. Nico O'Reilly gets in behind the defender, tries to skew it back in towards the 6-yard box. He went down under the challenge of Rodgers, but it was a harmless one.
It's a physical match for Morgan Rodgers, that's for sure. O'Reilly.
He's a big size, isn't he, Nico O'Reilly? I mean, he shouldn't be a left-back playing in the Premier League at that sort of size, but he's a holding midfield player or attacking midfield player, or even just a box-to-box midfield player, really. That's where he operates in the younger teams, but since he's come into the first team, the left-back position has really been vacant. In fact, that left-back position has been vacant for years at Manchester City, and he's really made a good job of making the most of it and making a positive impact from there. He loves a goal. He smashed in a spectacular goal in the youth team against Manchester United from 40 yards. Also scored a scorpion kick which went viral before he broke into the first team. So the City fans have known about him for a long, long time. He's delivering on the big stage now. Ball sent wide out towards the City right as they come on the attack with Nunez. His deep crossfield ball is aimed towards O'Reilly, who heads it back across to Gundogan, sets it back for Marmoush, who pulls the trigger and it goes straight out of play.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about physicality of O'Reilly, but he's very, very clever. Football IQ, he knows which spaces to attack. He crosses into the box, very, very good, and then a little header into the space, very well.
Ollie Watkins is getting stripped and ready for action as well, as our first City substitution sees Jeremy Doku, who's been coming off the bench a lot recently. 6 goals, 8 assists this season. Comes on for James McAtee. I wonder whether or not we'll get Watkins and Asensio in the next few moments here. And certainly Asensio is now stripped and ready for action.
And Guardiola's just giving McAtee a love on the side.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a frustration from McAtee, pushing the chest and then a little cuddle just to say that he'd done a good job.
Yeah, he'll dream about those misses though, especially the one where it loops over. He did so well, just past the post, over the top of Martinez.
Clearance by Martinez, header away by Nunez. Doku, first action for him, being wrestled with by Disasi. Disasi all over him. Arms getting in beneath his armpits, trying to hold him off. He's a broad-shouldered winger, is Doku.
It's going to be a problem for Disasi. I know that's probably an obvious prediction, but Disasi is not particularly a right back.
And the issue is that he does drift infield, and he thinks he's got to look after Gundogan as well. Gundogan's causing him problems, and now Disasi actually has got to come out a little bit earlier to try and engage with Doku, who's got the ball into the box. Konza thought that there was a little whack on his legs. Rodgers tries to bring it clear. Rodgers tries to shrug off Kovacic. The ball's put out of play. It's away for a throw into Manchester City. The 2 changes then coming, Rashford and Onana for Watkins and Asensio. What do you think?
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, Watkins come on with a belief that he can score goals like he did at the weekend. Asensio a little bit cleverer, but I'm not sure that. I was quite interested that he didn't take Rodgers off.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Yeah. So it just means that I think it just allows Tielemans to go a little bit deeper, doesn't it? Rashford's done a lot of running tonight.
Onana coming off. Asensio will supplement the attack. It's a big 15 minutes for both these two clubs. I don't think it'll be a disaster for them to draw this game. I think most people probably had it down as a draw, but if someone was to win it, it would mean the world.
Yeah, I mean at this stage, and the further it gets along now, you don't want to lose it. You don't want to do anything to lose this game, because that dropping even that point, because this is I think in the last remaining games of the season, this is probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, there's some big ones to come, but this is the biggest, I think. And Aston Villa holding their own against Manchester City as it stands. 14 minutes to go. We'll give you the as it stands table in just a second. It's Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car as the ball goes flying out on this near side. Whether you're on holiday at home or away this summer, Enterprise has locations all over Europe and a vehicle that's just right for you. After today, Manchester City obviously have the Cup semi-final against Forest on Sunday live on TalkSport, and then it's Wolverhampton Wanderers live on TalkSport at home on a Friday night, Southampton away, Bournemouth at home, and Fulham away from home on the final day of the campaign. And for Aston Villa, after tonight they welcome Fulham to Villa Park, they go away to Bournemouth, they have Tottenham at home, and then Manchester United away on the final day of the season. Free kick and a yellow card for Matheus Nunes, who has upset the referee with his challenge over on the far side.
Yeah, McGinn just took the ball in his stride, just rolled in. Nunes has spent more time on the floor. He's just trying to grab hold of McGinn's backside.
It'd be terrible, again, a twister. Here is Rodgers down the right side, and Asensio's won it back, and then he's turned and he's run at the City defence. He's moved on the outside, played it into Rodgers. Rodgers goes across, he's blocked by Guardiola. It's very difficult for him to squeeze the ball into the penalty area, but he managed it, and it was headed away by Bernardo Silva. Further clear from the left full-back position by O'Reilly, and it's cleared away. City will be in fourth with 59 points, one fewer than Nottingham Forest if it stays like this. And Forest will have a game in hand. They'll be above Newcastle United on goal difference. Aston Villa up into sixth position if it stays like this with 58 points from 34 games, but Chelsea will have a game in hand over them. Chelsea's next game against Everton is live on TalkSport this Saturday at 12:30. That's on FA Cup semi-final day. Rodgers round the corner into the path of Asensio, picked up by Kamara, travels forward, plays it centrally. Tielemans now has got an outlet on the far side, and it was Luca Dean. McGinn stepped into the path of the ball and just stopped it from reaching him fluidly. They've now sent it wide to his left. He'll produce a cross this time. Rodgers is underneath it, but Ortega is there as well. Watkins was challenging the goalkeeper in a clutch of jerseys, but Ortega managed to pick it out of the sky and bowls it through the middle to Bernardo Silva, who wanted to release Marmoush and almost did. If it hadn't have been for the intervention that McGinn, he would have done.
Brilliant there, McGinn, and they just vacated the central area because they pushed up the pitch, Villa, and City just couldn't take advantage of it. They've had the majority of this second half. It's only since the changes that Villa have just got a little bit of a foothold in the game. They've kept possession, they've got themselves up the pitch. First time really seeing Luca Dean in the second half put a cross into the box from high up the pitch.
Yeah, I haven't had enough of those today. Here is Watkins spreading out to the left hand side, getting to the edge of the box, coming infield. He's waiting for arrivals inside the area. On the outside of him was Dean again. It was just a bit behind him. Watkins has got it back again. Far side the Aston Villa left, and Ding, is he offside there? No, says the referee. And the assistant on this near side was looking along the line there and didn't raise the flag.
Yeah, he needs to get in the box. Watkins sort of dilute himself by going too wide.
It's played in towards Rodgers, back to Tielemans, prodded forward but won by Silva. De Bruyne trying to turn, and then he sends it into the channel for Doku to race forward, and he's faster than Disasi by a mile. He's got hold of it, he turns him inside and then out, gets into the box, holds onto it really well, shovels it back to De Bruyne, back to Kovacic to Gundogan down the side. Marmoush, is he onside? He is, he finishes. Now the offside flag goes up against him.
That's a great offside trap on the edge of the area. And yes, you've got the edge of the area, the line to give you a guide, but still, you've got to coordinate yourself. And there's one thing that Villa wherever the line is on the pitch. They're good at coordinating themselves, and just seeing a replay, and it does look the only one that was sort of stayed in. Dozy, yeah, Disassi, but I think he'd gone beyond. Mamouche, smile on his face.
Well, they are checking it via the VAR, but I think it'll be very quickly cleared. They're asking for it to be hailed and then sent back into the penalty area. But it was it was tighter than it initially looked, because Disassi did nose. I mean, it's not going to count.
That's no surprise that Disassi's not been here for the whole of Emery's reign. Like, they know the edge of the area there. They just automatically did it.
It's a brilliant offside trap. When it works to a T.
And it's usually on the halfway line. That's where their use is earlier on.
Up towards the left side from Martinez. He gets it right up into the path of Digne. He draws a foul from Bernardo Silva. And it's going to be a free kick just inside City territory with 9 minutes to play on TalkSport, live at the Etihad Stadium, with Manchester City and Aston Villa both trying to forge a path into the Champions League. And both of them still could do it. I mean, after tonight, stays like this, their fixtures are kinder, I think, than some of the others that are coming their way. And Stoke on halfway gives a free kick.
It was a free kick.
Bernardo Silva, I think it was, who challenged McGinn, and he's complaining, suggesting that it wasn't a free kick, but you're pretty certain it was.
Yeah, now you've put me on the spot, but my first reaction was that it was the free kick. You can't do it, he's trying to challenge from behind. And then the complaint, this is my point, what are you complaining about? It's just frustration, I think, the complaints.
Yeah. Well, the free kick doesn't come to anything because Villa wasted it. And do you know what? That's actually something that's happened quite a lot. Yeah. They've got into sort of positions where they've had the chance to reset, regain possession and just take control for a little bit, and then gifted it back too quickly.
Emery's not happy because I think both of these managers like control of the game.
Watkins thinks he's onside and he's beyond the defence. He passes it past the goalkeeper, and then the offside flag goes up and Guardiola cleared it off the line anyway. Again, both managers turn Emery to his team and try to raise the levels, and Guardiola to the fourth official.
The tension, isn't it? I think that's why everybody's just a little bit narky, because this means so much, and one of these two teams can just find a winner from somewhere. And we've had mostly City in this second half. Villa just defending well under extreme pressure at times. That's not a fact. You know, Doku.
Go for it. You're frustrated yourself, aren't you?
Disassi, as soon as he felt Disassi's hand on his back,
he just went.
Flung himself into the air. Crying out loud.
1-1. The sports bar coming straight after we finish tonight, by the way. If you want to call the boys, Jamie O'Hara and the Duck Lover, 03717 2233 44. Ball sent long out towards the far side by Vardiol. Header by Nunez in towards the edge of the penalty area. Well marshalled by Luca Digne, who has actually dealt with the fact that he has picked up a yellow card early in the game really well. De Bruyne's won it back. He's now travelling towards the edge of the penalty area. Nunez has got it here. He then sends it back down the side of the box that City are attacking, away to our right. And it's a misplaced pass by Bernardo Silva, who could find himself in a spot of bother with a yellow card when this stops. It's McGinn away. He clears it out to the far side. It goes out for a throw-in, and that's going to be a Aston Villa ball. No action being taken.
Bernardo Silva actually shocked himself there. I don't think he meant to do that challenge, but it didn't want the best challenge.
Daniel Marlon coming on, and this is the thing about Aston Villa, is that everywhere you look, every time you come look at their bench, they're bringing on another player who will probably get in somebody else's team.
That's the difference between last season and this season for Villa. Is managed that rotation, I think, very, very well. Unai Emery.
I think Rodgers is finally going to come off. Guardiola away. Kovacic takes hold of it in the centre of the park. Craig Pawson does a little bit of a spider jump over the top of the ball because he doesn't want to get involved, and it goes all the way back to Ortega. And then Watkins is penalised for running across the path of Diaz, and
he's rolling around on the floor holding his head.
It's a yellow card from the referee for Ollie Watkins. It has got a little bit out of control at times in terms of the histrionics. Pep Guardiola not helping that, definitely not diffusing it. And it was played back by Nunez towards his goalkeeper.
I'm not being funny. So he went past him and grabbed the back of his shirt, and then he went down holding his face, Ruben Diaz. He's a centre back. And then he got up when he realised he wasn't going to get the red card for...
Off comes Morgan Rogers and on comes Daniel Murray. He doesn't have to protect that face though. He's now dating a celebrity.
Alright, I'll take it back.
Have you not heard about that?
Yes, I have.
I thought you'd done.
Punch in.
Yeah. Unreal.
She wouldn't be with him if he was a bin man. That's what Izzy said. That's what Izzy said to me at half time. Izzy producer.
Yeah. 4 minutes to go before the end of the game. 1-1. Yes, he's dating TV presenter Maya Jama, isn't it? Who
allegedly. Come on.
Oh, I think she's confirmed it. If they are not Instagram official yet, I've seen a few posts of her learning Portuguese. She went to see him play for Portugal. Here is Gundogan sending it out towards the right hand side, picked up by Digne, then returned with interest. Daniel Marlon is on, he's picked it up and he's running to the space. He goes down the right side, plays it against O'Reilly, recovered well, and it's deflected behind and away for a corner.
Yeah, O'Reilly did really well there, defended. Probably should have done better depending on which side you're looking at it from. He got himself in a really good position, but O'Reilly just stuck to his task again.
Here is the corner kick away to our right hand side. Asensio's going to take it. They're queuing up inside the box now. Look at all of the Aston Villa players have come up here. Disasi, who is a threat from set pieces, yet to score for Aston Villa in the Premier League. Also in there, Tielemans and Ezri Konsa. It's aimed in towards Konsa, headed away by Guardiola. Drops on the edge of the box from Marlon, brings it down right footed, sends it back, saved by the goalkeeper. He drops to his left and makes a simple save, not enough purchase on it, and now everyone's being urged back because across the halfway line travels Matthias Nunez at speed as City go in search of a winner. Is there going to be a decisive moment in the final 2.5 minutes of the game? It's picked up by Kovacic. He moves it out wide towards the right. Matthias Nunez takes over. He's in an advanced position here. Moves up towards the edge of the box. He's watched by Tielemans. Comes in field. Left-footed cross. A loopy one. Not a great one. McGinn away. And Marlon should get there first. But Nico O'Reilly's just too good. Watched it. Taller. Headed over the top of the board. Head of Marlon into the path of Doku. Floated by Kovacic toward Nunez. Digne does well to go up with him. It takes a deflection of the Portuguese. Goes out. Goes out for a throw into Manchester City.
Yeah, this game... Or we decided something special or a mistake. It's been one of those games. City with the pressure again now.
And Villa substitutes. They've scored 11 Premier League goals, more than they did last season. They are a team that impact from the bench. Can they make an impact here, or will it be Manchester City with Diaz into the box looking for O'Reilly, away by Konsa? Free kick given against O'Reilly, and it's back with Aston Villa inside their box away to Aleph. I think they'll be happier with the point.
Yes, I think Konsa just did well to get the free kick then. I think just a bit of physicality from O'Reilly. Threw himself in the air. Konsa just takes the pressure off. But yeah, I think when you look at the sort of momentum has been with City in the second half, certainly Villa had to withstand a lot of pressure right at the start of that second half without conceding too high a quality of chance, I have to say, but they do defend. They have started to defend very, very well, and this point is important.
There's been very few high quality chances in the second half. The best, I think, opportunity we've had really is the one that Nakati had, which floated just inches wide of the upright when it was played in behind. And it's been sort of half opportunities apart from that. McGinn down the left bundles Bernardo Silva off the ball, then wins it, uses his body to protect the ball. It goes out of play by the corner flag. He wants a throw in. It's going to go Manchester City's way. They have it deep inside the right hand side of the pitch in the fullback position. It's with Bernardo Silva kicking it long. It's won by Kamara, sends it back towards Marlon. He then gives it inadvertently back to Doku, and then taken by O'Reilly out towards his near side. Marlon does enough to get something on the ball, flicking his left foot out across O'Reilly's path, connecting with the ball and putting it out of play.
Tell you what, Disasi is at completely full tilt every time the ball goes anywhere near him, just because he's worried about Doku and his pace.
Still could have a say in this, Jeremy Doku. Wonder how many minutes are going to be added on at the end of the 90. We haven't had an indication, which usually means there aren't going to be too many. Let's see. 5? Interesting.
There goes that theory.
There goes that theory, yeah. Why didn't they give you a notification on that? I'm complaining now to the technical department. Ball out wide towards the left. Doku tries to travel down the touchline. And across goes Disasi, and we have 5 added minutes to play. 1-1 on TalkSport. Victory which I think will be more for Nottingham Forest than for Newcastle and Chelsea than it will be for either of these two teams, so they'll be happiest, I think. But I don't think they'll be too sad either, knowing that the game has been so finely poised, but they'll have to sharpen their attacking instincts for matches against Fulham, Bournemouth, Tottenham and Manchester United, Villa, and the same for City when they take on Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth and Fulham. Away by Konza, into Marlon, up to Asensio, just allowed it to run across his path. He hasn't really got into the game at all, Asensio, since coming off the bench. Here comes Doku, a chance for him to run at Aston Villa. He goes up to Marlon, comes infield, shoves it on into the path of Guardiola. He looks up, he hasn't really got an option in space, so he goes to Kovacic, then Bernardo Silva, who's seen a lot of the ball tonight, has been a really good performer, plays it out wide to Nunez, then back to Diaz back down towards the right, and Kevin De Bruyne on to Nunez there, right tight to the touchline, over on the far side, the right, Nunez trying to get across him, blocked by McGinn. It's out for a corner and injury time for Manchester City.
Yeah, this is it, isn't it, for Manchester City? They've had a lot of corners in this second half, and Villa have at times desperately trying to ensure it doesn't end up in the back of the net, but this is certainly a chance for City.
Guardiola, O'Reilly, Diaz there to try and connect with a header. Gundogan, Silva looking for the second ball. Everybody in claret and blue back inside the 18-yard box away to our left-hand side. 1-1. A place in the Champions League being chased by both. It's De Bruyne in towards the near post. It's Diaz with the header, but it loops up just under the crossbar, and it's an easy catch and reach for Emi Martinez.
Yeah, it's been a slugfest, hasn't it? And it just looks like both are just running out of steam. Don't want to make a mistake, don't want to take any risks really in the last couple of minutes and give the game to the opposition, but it's been a terrific watch.
Yeah, edge of your seat stuff. Intrigue all over the park, fiercely competitive. There will be one defeat in 12 for Aston Villa in all competitions. It's not as damaging for them maybe as maybe it might be for Manchester City dropping points in a home game. I think it represents probably a good point, bearing in mind that this is their toughest fixture. And to come away from Manchester City unscathed really, I think is a good result for Unai Emery. Pep Guardiola still probably furious about the penalty award. Although I must admit, every time I've seen it, I thought penalty. But it gives us talking points, and it certainly still keeps the race spicy for the top 5 as we reach the interesting part of the season, the business end of the campaign. Doku skates past Disasi, who overcommitted, and comes inside, gets into the air, produces a lovely cross. It's put in by Matthias Nunez at the far post. Pep Guardiola runs down the touchline, celebrates with gusto. He's screaming into the air. The City fans are going wild because with high stakes on the line, it's Manchester City who have taken charge in stoppage time at the Etihad Stadium, and Matthias Nunez is the hero. Doku played his part magnificently. Disasi couldn't deal with him, Villa couldn't deal with him, and City have won it right at the end, 2-1.
Tell you what, I said there'd be a moment of brilliance or mistake, and it ended up being a moment of brilliance of Doku at his left hand side, and he'd certainly threatened that, I think, since he'd come on to take on the outside and put a good ball across. And Unai Emery can't believe it. He thought his team had just done enough to get a point. He managed to get past Disasi far too easily, Doku, and then it's about the quality of the ball, and Nunez coming in on the far post. Still difficult for him to do, but he passed a lot of Villa players, and that was always a threat, wasn't it? That he was going to get past Disasi. He was always right at full tilt, and they just couldn't get to the ball first, Villa, and Nunez puts it in, and Guardiola celebrating in front of the Villa staff there means everything.
He was screaming his heart out. And Unai Emery closed his eyes, puffed out his cheeks, and can't quite believe that it's all been taken away from him. And I mentioned it earlier, it's sort of a cliche, it's double points because they've won 3 and Villa have been denied 3. And that's so crucial in the race for the Champions League because they go up into 3rd as it stands. Villa drop to 7th in the table. They have 57 points, and those above them, Chelsea, Newcastle and Nottingham Forest, are all going to have a game in hand. The Etihad is on its feet. They believe that this is significant, and they're probably right. 96 minutes have been played. Akanji coming on for Kevin De Bruyne, who gets a round of applause from the Etihad faithful. It's a big, big moment this for Manchester City. It's a huge moment for Pep Guardiola. Matheus Nunes with the goal, his 4th of the season. His last goal came in the League Cup defeat to Tottenham on October the 30th. That was the moment the dip started. Maybe they're back on the rise now. Away by Pau Torres, up to halfway, offside flag is up. It's a free kick to Manchester City, and it looks like the game is up for Villa.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant game, Sam. And it's sort of look at it and think, if you probably tipped it in the favour of one team in terms of the pressure in the second half, then you'd say Manchester City, but Villa have defended well, they've been a threat, they've always had that outlet, but just that little bit of quality, and it was always the case when Disasi came on, he never looks comfortable at right back, and Doku just fancied his chances, not done it enough, got behind and the ball comes across, and Nunes is in the right place at the right time.
There's the whistle. Pep Guardiola celebrates in front of the Aston Villa bench. It's been a questionable season for Manchester City, but maybe they are coming up with the answers at just the right time. None at their best against Everton, but winners. Highly competitive tonight and victorious over one of those threatening to take their place at the top of the table. Aston Villa have had a taste of the Champions League and they want a reservation at that table again. But if they're going to sample the delights of the Champions League next season, then they're going to have to offer a little bit more in the attacking final third when they go to the next few fixtures in this wicked race for a place at the top table. They're 2 points off the top 5 right now, with everyone else except City possessing a game in hand. Manchester City go up to 3rd, and a return to the Champions League looking more than likely. It means the world to Guardiola. Nunez, the goal scorer. Doku, the instigator. Manchester City 2, Aston Villa 1.